They mocked me for being late, a few minutes past the scheduled start, and suddenly I was the center of snickers, whispered jokes, and exaggerated eye rolls in the conference room where every seat was occupied by sharp suits and sharp tongues, and at first, I felt my cheeks burn, a mix of embarrassment and frustration, because I had been caught in traffic due to an unexpected accident on the main highway, a situation entirely beyond my control. Yet here I was being judged as if lateness defined my competence or worth, and the murmurs escalated, colleagues smirking and pointing subtly, some daring to whisper cruel quips about responsibility, while I tried to keep my composure, sliding quietly into the nearest available seat, nodding politely and avoiding eye contact, feeling smaller with every chuckle, and just as my confidence threatened to crumble, the door opened and the CO entered, a figure whose presence seemed to immediately draw the room into silence, and all eyes turned to him, anticipation and respect palpable, and with measured steps he approached the front of the room, scanning the gathered team with calm authority, and then he spoke, his voice rich but not harsh, cutting through the whispers. I understand someone has been mocked for circumstances beyond their control, and heads turned slightly, the mocking gestures faltering, the smug smiles fading, because his attention carried weight. And when he continued, being late does not define ability. What defines us is how we handle challenges, respond under pressure, and support each other. The room shifted noticeably, colleagues sitting straighter, the air suddenly filled with a sense of accountability, and he looked directly at me, nodding once, subtly acknowledging the effort it had taken to arrive despite the obstacles, and in that single gesture, something inside me steadied, a renewed sense of worth and belonging replacing the creeping embarrassment. And he didn't stop there. The CEO recounted stories of his own challenges, times when unexpected events threatened deadlines but were overcome with determination, communication, and teamwork, his words weaving a narrative that reframed the morning's ridicule as an opportunity to learn, to grow, and to demonstrate resilience. And as he spoke, the room's energy transformed, whispers replaced by attentive silence, smirks replaced by respect. And I felt the warmth of validation not as a gift but as recognition of my professional integrity, and he concluded by assigning the first agenda item to me, a small but deliberate act signaling trust and confidence, a signal to everyone that my role and contributions were valued, that no momentary lapse outside of my control could diminish my competence. And as I rose to begin, the weight of judgment lifted, replaced by the steady rhythm of purpose, and the colleagues who had mocked me now approached with professional courtesy, some even nodding in acknowledgement of the CEO's intervention, and I realized that the mockery had been a test of resilience, and the CEO's response had not only defended me but reinforced a culture of respect, fairness, and leadership, demonstrating that influence can shift the dynamic in an instant, that power wielded wisely can protect those who are vulnerable, and that the right words from the right person at the right moment can transform embarrassment into empowerment, humiliation into confidence, and isolation into inclusion. And as the meeting continued, with me fully engaged and contributing my insights, I noticed the subtle changes in interaction, the careful listening, the measured responses from colleagues who had moments ago laughed at my expense, and I felt a profound gratitude not only for the CEO's timely support but also for the reminder that in a professional world, character, composure, and skill often speak louder than minutes of tardiness, and that leadership is not just about directing tasks but about upholding dignity, nurturing growth, and ensuring that no one is diminished unfairly. And by the end of the session, the project discussions were flowing efficiently, the energy collaborative, and I understood that the morning's incident, while initially humiliating, had become a pivotal moment in establishing my presence, my resilience, and my value within the company, proving that respect is earned and reinforced through actions, accountability, and timely advocacy, and that sometimes, the intervention of a single person with authority can not only halt mockery but also inspire confidence, restore self-esteem, and shift the trajectory of professional relationships, leaving lasting impressions far beyond the immediate moment. And as I left the conference room later, I carried with me the quiet pride of having endured, of having been recognized, and of knowing that in any environment, integrity and composure can triumph over ridicule, especially when guided by someone who understands the power of standing up for others.